So, Gaurav, right from the beginning, when we started the conversation, you've used GenAI quite liberally in many of your sort of answers. I think there's a broad consensus that GenAI can be very disruptive to the GCC industry, disruptive for the benefit of the industry. But it also means that people need to understand the implication of GenAI. What I see today is a lot of proof of concepts being run, but I'm not entirely sure whether leadership has fully understood what this means for their organization in the GCC. How are you seeing this from your perspective?
Yeah. No, in fact, there is no conversation today without the mention of GenAI numerous times, so this is no exception in that sense, Subir. We all know that GenAI is a strategic lever. Absolutely no question about that. And I think the GCC leadership has completely understood that. And, a lot of surveys suggest that 78% of the FS GCCs are actually doing large-scale programs in making their population aware of GenAI. So, to be able to take a huge population, relatively young, through a full understanding of AI and GenAI is not an easy task. It's a program. And we know through our surveys that 78% of FS GCCs are there. So, why would almost like 80% of them do that? And the reason they would do that is because they have to move beyond experimentation to embedding AI and GenAI. And that embedding of AI and GenAI is extremely important when you look at it in context of the global COEs that are being tasked to do work in India. Yeah. Whether it's around financial crime, whether it's about cyber, whether it's around risk, whether it's about data and analytics, there is a huge amount of leverage that comes in when you bring in AI and GenAI, and that cannot happen only in experimentation. It has to be embedded. So that's the challenge that everybody has today. The first step is get people native, get them fully understood about AI and GenAI. It doesn't matter whether you're using it or not at the moment. The second bit is move them beyond co-pilot stuff to embedding GenAI or AI in their actual work that is happening out of India. The third thing is getting leadership, which is actually fluent, domain fluent, as much as it is in its business acumen. It's moving beyond models. You also need talent that can actually audit outputs of GenAI. You need talent that can build structural proprietary models. And that really is a very niche talent that you have to invest in. And, to be able to audit an output of GenAI, your GenAI really needs to do a spectacular job in the first place, right? So the simple answer is, I think it's a strategic lever. Everybody gets it, and that's why close to 80% are investing in large-scale AI and GenAI education programs for everybody. Second, move beyond experimentation to embedding it. And third, look at talent that can actually start working on inputs and work on things like structural proprietary models, outputs of GenAI. And fourth, leadership, which is actually very fluent in the digital AI, GenAI acumen as much as it is on the business and the domain side. Yeah. That's really where it's going.
I think you've alluded to it a little bit in your response, but if I might just drill a little further, whenever there's major technological change, there is a fear of job losses. And at the same time, every technological change has shown that actually new opportunities get created. Are you as optimistic about that in the case of GenAI as has been past technological changes?
Absolutely. And what makes me more confident, Subir, is that, we have a very young demographic. We have a demographic that's very hungry to learn and move up the value scale, right? Yeah. So that makes it easier in some way because the opportunity is actually will be caught on, is already being caught with open arms rather than resistance. Now, true, there will be roles that will get impacted. There will be roles that will get redundant. There will be functions that will change forever the way they were done before. But the opportunity that it creates for future completely outweighs the kind of destruction, if I may use the word, that'll come in force when you have more AI and Gen AI. So the opportunities are far more pragmatic. That basket is much bigger, and that's why everybody is investing in upskilling.
Yeah.
Because it's also a part of corporate responsibility, because you do want to make sure that you provided your staff with more than enough opportunities to both upskill and reskill. Right? And there is absolutely a good reason why organizations are measuring the rates on it. And most of these trainings on upskilling and reskilling are in that mandatory bucket for this very reason. So I'm very optimistic because of the young demographic, because of the opportunities, because of the fact that if you look at what FS GCCs are doing today, and the opportunity that lies ahead is skill. There's a huge way to go.
Yeah.
And I think, like you rightly said, this is another inflection point. You've got a new intervention technologically coming up. I have zero doubt in my mind that this will actually go like a hockey stick very soon.
That's good to hear your optimism, and I kind of share that as well. So the future looks good for the industry.